everyone, Primetime Moff here with a retro review. I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. As we're coming to the end of that original generation's Transformers, your G1 and G2, we're about to move into Beast Wars and everything that comes thereafter. I was sitting down thinking about what was I going to review this week, and I only had one toy I could review this week, but actually on reflection I was thinking about the full experience that I've had going back through Generation 1 and Generation 2, and I thought it'd be good to do kind of a retro review of Generation 1 and Generation 2. People who know me know that I like to focus on the positives. I like to look at what are the things I really enjoyed about franchises or stuff that when I used to go to movies, I'd always go, what was the one thing I took away from that movie? Even if it's a bad film, what did I like about the film? So I'm going to do the same today. So we're going to do a couple of top fives, and then we're going to do a kind of overview. So I'm a G1er. There is no hiding that. I am in my first half of the 40s. I grew up on G1. That was my first love of Transformers came from. And yes, my collection goal is all about G1. My main collection goal, and I have multiple now, multiple. But my kind of aim of my collection is to have updated versions of the toys that were released in the first 4 years. So up until the kind of Headmasters kind of point. So the first 4 catalogues are what I look at as the toys. I'm very much a cartoonist. I didn't have the comics as a kid. I had a very small interaction with comics as a kid. I had the Transformers annuals, I had the Ladybird books. Our little village didn't get the comics, so they weren't really the focus of what I enjoyed. So a lot of what I enjoy is from the cartoon side of it. And I didn't have a lot of the toys, so I had a very small collection of Transformers toys. We didn't really pick what we wanted for Christmases or birthdays. We kind of got to pick our main present, our main thing, and then my parents would find what else in it. Having been a parent, I enjoy that aspect more. You know, I've been able to get like the newer Thundercats. I got my boy a full collection of them when they were in B&A, you know, home bargains. I need a ball with it, so I do get it from my parents' point of view. I do have a lot of pangs of jealousy of people who managed to grow up with some of this stuff that I missed out on. But equally, I got to experience loads of other toy lines and stuff that I know a lot of people didn't experience. You know, I've got a great affection for loads of these kind of cheap toy lines, as they certainly were, that were probably filling the shelves, but I got an experience of them, so I don't really regret it in that respect, and it always gives me something to aim for. So let me go through. So I am going to pick my top 5 toys from my childhood. So these are Transformer toys that I had as a child. Now this list is so subjective, and you ask me tomorrow, it could be a total different. So I'm going to try and just stick with the list that I've written down, which took me 2 or 3 attempts. So we're going to go with Optimus Prime. So G1 Optimus Prime was the big toy of the year that I got. Wasn't my first toy, but it was the first big toy I got from the Transformers line, and I absolutely loved it. I still have my original G1 Optimus Prime. It has no accessories. The trailer disintegrated into pieces through multiple plays. It came apart, but I still have my original cab with no accessories, and that always reminds me of being a child getting that toy. I'm going to go with one of the Decepticons. I had all 3. It was the only subline I had complete of, and I'm going to go Bombshell, but the 3 of them Insecticons actually as one just really make me happy. Then I'm going to go Hot Rod, my favourite movie toy. I had, of all the random things, I had Hot Rod and Rodimus Prime, my 2 toys from the movie. It's only 2 toys I got from the movie line, and they're both the same character, but anyway. I love both of them, but Hot Rod was my absolute favourite. Then I'm going to go Grimlock. You have to go Grimlock. Grimlock, G1 Grimlock is the toy that has been on display at every point in my life since I've owned it. When I was a toy collector, or when I wasn't a toy collector, more accurately, sorry, through kind of high school, and you were trying to kind of be the cool kid, I still had G1 Grimlock, always sitting on display, always on my kind of bedside table. It's always been my favourite toy from childhood. Just think he's an absolutely incredible toy. I would say of the Autobots, he is the best transforming toy I have. So I'll get my notes back up because the screen's just kindly locked on me. And then finally, I'm going to go with one that I don't have my original anymore. My original went walkies, but the toy that I have rebought multiple times, I actually only had 2 copies just now and I want a 3rd copy, is Power Master Prime. I only have my original Haikyuu, and I only had Power Master Prime for the briefest of times, like ridiculously short. I got it just before Mum and Dad, we moved house, they built their own house, we lived in a caravan, all of our toys and stuff went into storage. Power Master Prime was too big to come in the small tub of toys we were allowed in the caravan, so Haikyuu came with me. Power Master Prime went into storage and was never seen again. So I only had him for a very, very brief time. I think I got him for my birthday or my Christmas. My birthday's February, so my memory's never great on whether it was a Christmas or birthday present, but only had him for a short period of time. And I think that desire's always been there because Haikyuu's always been there. So then I'm going to go. I'm going to give a special mention to Gears. Gears was my first ever Transformer. He is the thing it pushed me onto it. I had a few of the mini-bots because budgetary wise, mini-bots I think appealed to my parents to get. So Gears always will have a special place in my heart for that. So kind of top 5 toys to get: G1, G2, since teenager. I'm going to go first, G2 Sideswipe. Absolutely beautiful. Lamborghini Countach is my favourite car of all time. A black version of it as a Transformer, outstanding, with the neon stickers, just beautiful. Absolutely love them. Then I'm going to go Soundwave, my man. I said that Grimlock's my favourite Autobot toy of all time. I think that Soundwave is my favourite Decepticon toy of all time. I think, again, if you show that to somebody and show them what a Transformer is, I think he's an excellent example. Looks amazing in alt mode, looks amazing in robot mode, and a great fun transformation. Then I'm going to go with 6-Shot. So I got the reissue 6-Shot from Forbidden Planet as a student at university, and I remember being super excited, seeing it on the shelf, and I think it was just perfect timing. I had not long got my bursary from university and I blew it buying 6-Shot. Absolute amazing thing. And then I'm going to go Scorponok. Scorponok was one of the very, 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 very first eBay lots I ever bought back in 1999. It was the running joke between all my friends because I bought it as a lot and it came without a head, and they always used to joke I liked my headmasters without heads, but Scorponok was outstanding and probably made the desire for my number 1 toy, and easily still my holy grail, and that is Fort Max. I picked up Encore Fort Max, and it has such a special place in my collection for the story of getting it, the story of getting approval from my wife to get it, and more importantly, encouragement from the wife to get it. And it was an absolute incredible piece, still is an absolute favourite. So then I'm going to go to top 5 toys. These are the next 2 bits about probably the desire for this stuff has grown immensely from doing these episodes and this show with Simon. So Simon, thank you so much for reinvigorating my love for the original Transformer. So these are ones I'd love to own. Not that I'm ever going to go buy them, but these are things that if you were to give me an unlimited budget, I would be going buying. So G1 Overlord is probably my number 1 pick for a toy I'd like to own. I'm a huge Overlord fan and I would love to own the original. I got the chance to really experience a proper, really nice one. I've never experienced the Junkers before, but a really nice one at TFUK Con thanks to Russ. And that desire is now even greater, so thank you, Russ. Then the next one, again, I'll give Russ props for this. Grand Max. So I have Fort Max, I have Brave Max. I do not have a G1 Grand Max. I've got the Generation Selects one, but there is an aspect of me I would like to have that, but not to the price it's what I'd have to pay to get it. So it's one that I probably never would own, but I would like to own. I'm going to throw Jetfire in. So I only ever experienced Jetfire as a junker from a car boot sale, and it was fun, but I never really clicked with it. I've told this story before that I see him more as a separate entity to Skyfire from the cartoons. Doesn't look like him, doesn't have the same name, so it doesn't really resonate with me. However, I would love to experience a really good quality version with all the armour pieces and see what that's like. So that's a toy I would like to experience. And I'm going to throw something in there that's probably easier to achieve, and might even achieve it at TFN, and that is G1 Mirage. He's the only one of the original kind of car bots I didn't get to experience either as a child or as an adult. It was him and Hound. Hound I picked up the retro release of, so it's now just Mirage that's on that list. So I think I would like to pick up a Mirage at TFN this year. And then I'm going to go to Six Shot. So I told you I'd got a Six Shot. I sold that plus other reissues as we were saving for our wedding some 14 years ago. And I would love to pick up a G1 Six Shot again. I was close to doing it last year. I might do that this year. So then I'm on to my top 5 toys I'd like to experience. So through this, we've done this excellent wee extra bits where we talk about Talking Robots Tuesday, where I ask you about toys you'd like to experience. And the joy is actually there's loads I still like to experience, and we're about to get into eras that I've not experienced any of, and I cannot wait for that experience. It's been so much fun picking up things and finding new toys that you've never experienced and finding new styles and gimmicks and stuff. Amazing. So my top 5. So we're going to go with Thunder Clash. I think I'm probably safer with Machine Wars, Optimus Prime, but Thunder Clash just because he is so freaking beautiful. Cyclonus, I think is going to be a TFN purchase. I think that's going to be on the list. G1 Bludgeon, for obvious reasons. Getaway, and then going to go Mind Wipe. So they're not massive, other than Thunder Clash, they're not massively crazy ones, but they're ones I'd like to experience because I just haven't, and they've always appealed to me. So that's my top 5. So then I'm going to jump on to my kind of overall thoughts. So of the franchise from G1 and G2. G2, you can't really say there's much of a cartoon aspect of it, but I remember picking up the G2 DVD in the late 90s, and actually it gave me a kind of lot of fun feels for it, and I've got a desire to pick it back up again just because of doing this. But the incredible experience this year of realising there was a different way to watch the Transformers the movie, for example, through the season 5. With the kind of, I can't remember the kid's name in it, but Power Master Prime, that was really an experience and a half. But Transformers has never been better than it was in Transformers the movie, the animated movie, in my opinion. Only in my opinion. To me, it is not a perfect movie, but it's as close to a perfect movie for me that there is. It's my favourite film of all time. I always say that your favourite something, whether it be movie, video game, song, is the thing you have listened to, played, or watched the most. Transformers the movie, hands down, is in that category for me. I watch it every year on my birthday, and usually 2 or 3, 4, 5 times depending on the year. Throughout the year, I never bore of it. If somebody says, do you want to watch it, I would say no. I would say, yeah, let's go for it. So that is the pinnacle. It is one of the best pieces of storytelling there is, and easily, as we say arguably, but it's easily, in my opinion, the best bit of Transformers franchise we've had. But Transformers cartoon had some absolute crackers as well. You know, I talked about my love for Skyfire. The 2 kind of main Skyfire centric episodes are brilliant. Some of the Dinobot ones are brilliant. Some of the season 3 stuff is a bit challenging, but you know, overall it kind of really goes through. I think in the main Transformers series, I think the Rebirth stands out. I think the Rebirth is a fantastic piece. I remember getting it on VHS, and I re-picked up that VHS just last year. I absolutely loved it. Loved Transformers the Rebirth. Still love it to this day. Probably my second favourite part of the Transformers lore, just for sheer enjoyment. I'm not saying it's the best, I'm just saying I really enjoy it. My favourite experience this year, however, has been going back and revisiting the Japanese series. So I watched them in a very poor quality, quick time effort, late 90s, early 2000s, kind of when I was at university. Got a decent enough PC. Didn't have great internet because nobody had great internet, but I downloaded and watched them, and they were terrible. I think they were also terrible because it was really poor quality. Reading the subtitles was not easy, so I mainly gave up on the subtitles and listened to the dubs, which we know are challenging. But this year, kind of just around my birthday, I decided I was going to watch Master Force and give it a real go. It's got a lot of characters in it. It's got a lot of characters of toys that I really like. And I thought, I'm going to give that a go. That's the one I'm going to try this year, and I absolutely adored it. So I'm just hit my button again, got my notes up. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good fun way of telling a story. It's made me pick up some Pretenders since, toys. I never had any Pretenders until this year, and Master Force has given me that oomph to go for more, and I'm really looking forward to picking up some more to kind of just finish out the kind of characters from the show. So that's been a real pleasure, and it makes me excited about stuff that I haven't experienced when we go forward, so like Unicron Trilogy and stuff. That'll be good fun to go through some of those. Okay, so then we're going to go into comic thoughts. As I say, I didn't have the comics growing up. My first real chance to grab the comics was the Titan books, the graphic novels. I managed to pick those up. The only one I had as a kid that was a complete kind of toy comic run was the G2 Marvel US stuff. Picked that up just as I was about to start uni, or just before uni, and a visit to university. And as soon as I could drive and we could go to comic shops and comics conventions, that was my aim, to pick up that full series. So that was the first and only real series I completed and had in comic format. I managed in the early 2000s. I got a copy of the UK comics on a CD. You could read on your computer, but you're reading on your computer, and I did read them, but they just never clicked with me. I'm a physical guy for comics, so I do have access to the Hachette ones, and I keep threatening to go back and read them again, and I will at some point when life is a bit more calm. I might well just do that. But that being said, I want to kind of humble brag of the opportunities I've had through TFUK Con. I've had the chance to interview Bob Budiansky and Simon Furman, two men who have been huge influences on the media that I absolutely love, huge influences on the fandom, but really nice people as well. Like Bob Budiansky was so friendly, and we had a really good bit of banter at the very beginning before we started recording, and he was so giving of his time. It was an absolute joy. We all know what Bob has Bob has contributed to this fandom, so to have the chance to speak to him, thank him at the 40th anniversary was just an incredible experience. And that brings me on to Simon Furman. Simon, I remember meeting Simon for the first time. I think if I get my years right, it was about 1998. So I've met Simon multiple times. I always go and challenge myself to find something different for Simon to sign. Generally, I try and look for things that are not Transformers related, so I can have a conversation. I think that's always an interesting conversation. And Simon has wrote some stuff for other franchises that I absolutely love, as well as what he's done for Transformers, and has been the kind of continued presence in the fandom. You know, he's wrote for so many different stories. He's wrote with so many different worked with so many different artists. He's worked with so many different writers, and it's just, his knowledge is incredible. And sitting having a chance to interview him is brilliant. But more importantly, sitting just having a beer with him afterwards is always an enjoyable time. So I feel very grateful to have those experiences from working with TFUK Con. So that's my kind of wrap up piece for Transformers Generation 1 and Generation 2. As I say, this is the part of the franchise that I am most in love with. There is aspects of the franchise thereafter that I think is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to getting to Beast Wars. I'm looking forward to getting to Unicron Trilogy because I don't know much about it. So it's a total different bit. Beast Wars I know loads about. Have got most of the toys, loads of love for it, loads of love for the storytelling, Beast Machines to an extent as well, yeah. But then we get to Unicron Trilogy, not so much. I've got Robots Skies, there's so much coming that I'm looking forward to looking over, but none of it will holds a candle for me to the original Transformers Generation 1 and Generation 2. I'm wrapping them up together because they're just the same kind of same thing for me. That's one generation. I know it's not really, and I know that some fandom people will be going mad now, but I then kind of class Beast Wars, Beast Machines as the Beasts era, which a lot of people do. Then we get into the kind of Japanese anime style, so then we can then change it thereafter, and I will kind of talk through them. But that has been my retro review for this week. Thank you so much for everybody who has joined us on this journey so far. It has been a blast. We've learned so many new things. we've experienced new toys, we have absolutely been enabled by this conversation. Simon and I continually are saying to each other, I bought this is because of you, he's bought this because it's because of me, but not in a bad way. There's not been a single thing that I've picked up from that I've not went, this has been great fun, and I really look forward to being enabled further as we go through the next, we're going into 1996, so we've still got 28 years worth of Transformers to talk through. That's an incredible journey to go through, so please make sure you join us on this. We are on YouTube under PTTV, but we are also available on podcast for our main episodes. You can listen in and hear us chat nonsense, talk about toys. I don't know how we're going to get some of these years and try and do in the same 30 minutes. We've joked that some of these ones recently have been, oh, this won't last 30 minutes, and it easily does. It terrifies me, terrifies me when we get to the point of like animated and the movies, and oh my goodness, it's going to be part 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see how we cope. We'll have to be a bit more stringent. Maybe we'll separate them up into doing a wee bit like this, where we kind of wrap them up a wee bit. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to chatting with you as we go through the rest of the years of this incredible franchise. Take care.